Picture this, two guys trapped in the South Charleston Public Library. One guy loves movies, the other, well, he'd rather be watching reality TV. Can they survive each other's films? Find out on Real Opposites, a library podcast about movies, hosted by Josh and Aaron from the South Charleston Public Library.
Hey guys, and welcome back to The Real Opposites. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Josh.
And we're back to discuss the movies we chose for each other last time, Mulholland Drive and 17 again.
Yeah.
So
I endured 17 again.
Well, I guess that we'll start with that.
Yeah, another teen
17
movie.
again.
So what is it about
movie?
17 again that speaks to your soul?
I don't know if I would put it that way.
The intricate plotting.
I mean, listen, it is a fun movie. I like fun movies. I like to casually watch. If I'm going to watch a movie, which I prefer not to, but if I'm going to, I like a casual movie. And I feel like this one's very casual. It has some good people in it, and I think it's funny.
Yeah.
But I am a fan of Zac Efron. I like a lot of his movies, but
He's not bad.
Yeah,
he's
I don't
gotten
know.
better over the years.
Yeah.
Not that I necessarily remember him in anything in particular.
That's fine. We'll watch another one.
Oh God.
But I think what we'll do
As long as
is
you don't make me watch that awful Baywatch movie or something again.
I've not seen that one.
Oh God.
Oh, maybe I have. No, I haven't. I don't know if I did.
Earl.
Anyways, but what we'll do is we'll eventually watch one of his maybe more serious ones or something when he's an adult.
Who did he play? Serial killer?
Oh, that's exactly the one we'll do. Yeah.
Who did he play though?
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That would be a great one. Okay.
I'll
so
do that.
Stay tuned for more Zac Efron.
As long as you get these Disney kids to play serial killers, I'll watch them.
I mean, honestly, most of the two main movies that came out about serial killers were Disney kids. The Ted Bundy one and the Jeff Dahmer one were both Disney kids.
Yeah.
Not the one on
Not the series.
Netflix, right?
Who's in the Jeff Dahmer one?
My Friend Dahmer was
There's a Disney kid in that one?
he plays Dahmer.
He was a Disney kid?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It was beyond our time.
Josh
Disney.
hasn't watched Disney in 30 years.
Yeah, it wasn't during our time. Anyways, we have went way off course.
Okay.
Kind of.
Anyway, 17 again. So it's a casual film. You like casual, just kind of laid back.
It's fun. It's funny. I like to laugh.
Okay.
I still found it very funny.
Is there a specific aspect that you like a lot about this particular film?
We'll have to cut that out.
I was looking up what.
She was looking at Zac Efron.
I was
who's
seeing.
that?
Yeah,
that's the kid from My Friend
Ross
Dahmer.
Lynch.
He was in.
That's the kid who played Dahmer?
Yeah, he was in Austin and Ally. He was in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
For real? That doesn't look like him.
For the youngins in here that might know these things, this was beyond my time on Disney.
Yeah.
Also, this is young Disney.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He looks totally different.
He was Dahmer in My Friend Dahmer, which we've done on this podcast.
Yeah, we did, and I liked it.
Yep.
But he looks totally different.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I say. I mean, they did really good with those movies.
The glasses, man.
Yeah, the glasses and the hair.
And the long hair.
Wow. Huh.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
What did I say before the
So,
crash?
Wait, you can part your hair in the middle and curl it under, and apparently you have instant serial killer.
yeah.
That's what we got.
And glasses.
Does the
And
trick.
glasses, big glasses.
You need those glasses. But anyways, yeah. So I just find it fun. Is there you asked if there was a certain aspect? I don't. Are there aspects to this movie?
Well, I mean, a theme, a character trait, moment.
Well, it's not the love story. I can tell you that up front. But I did realize this is basically a love story.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
basically, it's Back to the Future.
Right, which they paid homage to Back to the Future with the scene with Michelle Trachtenberg when he wakes up and she's taking care of him.
Yeah,
Where in the movie it's the
exact same scene.
his mom.
Yeah.
Instead, but yeah.
Well, it's even.
We didn't get in a flying car.
Well, no, but isn't it his mom or doesn't his mom have the hots for him too? I seem to remember a scene like that in this.
In 17 again?
Yeah.
He doesn't go back in time.
No, it's the
Well, I know,
it's
but
his kid's mom, which is technically his wife.
Okay. Well, it's okay. It's
And
somewhat,
it's because
Yeah.
He goes back to being himself and looks just like himself when they fell in love.
Okay, I guess so.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But maybe we should get your opinion on it, and then we'll discuss it some.
Okay. It's another generic teen movie
Yes.
where nothing interesting happens.
What? There's so much interesting.
It's just like it's a been there, done that. It's like they throw some Back to the Future, some any kind of like. It's not like a body swap movie, but it's kind of like he's going back into his old body, so it's kind of a body swap movie. It's like throw a little bit of like Big or vice versa, the one with Judge Reinhold from the 80s.
Never seen it.
Well, it's like man goes back to being a kid.
Oh, okay.
Like magically as a kid, and so it's just like I don't know, it's nothing special, and the cast is like okay, but they don't really elevate it. So that's the thing with like something like this kind of movie where you're really playing with stereotypes and tropes, like narrative tropes from decades past, is like you need to add some sort of personal touch, like either stylistically with how you're shooting it or editing it, or some element in it needs to be unique to the film you're making.
Okay.
So that's like Back to the Future is a great example. So they took a time travel movie and they made it personal. They made it about him getting his parents back together.
Yeah.
And making his life, their marriage, their life better, so that he stands up for himself. They have a very successful, happy life going forward and are happily married, not like, his uncle's not in jail, and everything.
Right.
Like, so it's, and they did it in a unique way, with the DeLorean, the whole aspect of it. It was like they brought something new to the table for a time travel movie.
Yeah.
And with like this kind of like a body swap / it's not time travel, but it's like
de-aging
kind of, whatever. And they need to do something different, and it just didn't. It just felt like some 80s script they rehashed, updated it.
So what I'm hearing is you absolutely love this movie and can't wait for my next pick.
No, there's like, it's just run of the mill.
Right.
I didn't like, abhor it or anything. I just didn't really, not much there.
Are we allowed to abort movies for this podcast?
Abort.
Oh.
Abort.
We're going to abort movies. We're 6 minutes in. We're aborting. No more 17 again.
That's what I...
Danger, Will Robinson. Abort.
It's kind of what I pictured.
So, speaking of it being run of the mill, it was a remake of a movie called
movie in 1986.
Young Again.
Yeah.
That
Wait, who's in that?
Featured, Keanu Reeves in one of his first roles ever.
Wow. This is like that must have been like a made for Disney movie.
Oh, it has to be.
It was literally called Walt Disney something Young Again.
The Magical
Okay.
World.
The Magical World of
Okay,
Disney.
so it's like an episode
Young
of
Again.
like that.
Yeah.
Like a movie of the week kind of thing or something.
Probably.
Okay, well that's cool. Sure that one's better probably.
It has Keanu Reeves
Got
in
Keanu Reeves in it.
This
so
one,
I'd be good for that
one had...
Well,
like in the cast in this isn't terrible.
let's.
I was going to say, there is... I think there's some good cast. Well, I'm a fan of Zac Efron, but Leslie Mann, I like
Leslie
her.
Mann's okay, which is interesting. She's only 13 years older than Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yes.
Which is very
And
cool.
I also like Michelle Trachtenberg, but that's because
she was Buffy.
she was on Buffy,
Yeah.
Although she was annoying on Buffy, but
Yeah, she's okay.
she was supposed to. So,
Zac Efron's like okay.
Yeah.
Thomas Lennon's the best part of the movie. That's my favorite part. Is Thomas Lennon, the guy that plays Ned, his best friend.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
And Melora Hardin, who's I guess she's the principal that he's had a crush on and everything.
Yeah.
That part of the movie. So yeah, that part of the movie, his best friend and the principal.
Yeah.
Like him trying to seduce her. And Melora Hardin, I love. She's really funny. She was Jan in The Office.
Oh, okay.
It was like
I still haven't watched that.
Michael's boss / lover /
Oh, okay.
in a very problematic relationship in that. But I thought that was cool. She's in this. And she was also, I think it's The Rocketeer. She has like a small role in that as like a singer at a nightclub.
No,
I was watching The Rocketeer like many years ago, and I was like, oh, it's Jan from Office. Yeah, that part's like my favorite part. Those two are really funny together.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the comedy is them.
Yeah, it's certainly not the rest of them.
I think there's other funny parts, but
And
I like the part when Zac Efron meets the bully guy in the gym, and he's like making fun of him, and it's a big deal at that point. And
yeah, it's all this kind of like
funny,
bully revenge fantasy kind of thing. Like if you could go back with everything you know now and
I like that.
mess with somebody that terrorized you.
I need a janitor to send me back.
Yeah,
17.
you need Brian Murray to send you back.
Yeah.
That's Bill Murray's older brother, the janitor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's in a lot of Bill Murray movies.
Okay.
And
I did not know that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Brian Murray, cool. I feel like even that janitor was like taken from some other movie. I feel like there's some janitor that does
Probably.
magic trick, but it's not ringing a bell. Like I know it's happened in some other movie.
That he does a magic trick?
Well, it's like some magical janitor.
Yeah, I don't know.
Might have to look this up. But
I know Wes Craven plays the janitor in
New Nightmare.
Scream.
Oh, Scream.
Mm-hmm. He's
right.
dressed as Freddy.
That's right. He's dressed as Freddy. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was just not, I don't know. There's nothing like terribly egregious about it. It was just,
Yeah.
Nothing groundbreaking.
yeah.
So on the scale that we use here at Real Opposites,
We have a scale.
above or below
Coyote Ugly.
Coyote Ugly?
I mean, I'll put it above Coyote Ugly.
Woo.
I didn't hate myself for watching it.
Right. Okay, that works.
I'm looking at magical janitor. I feel like I've
Googling a
seen this
magical
exact
janitor.
same thing
Oh,
somewhere.
no.
Oh, maybe it's Bruce Almighty. Morgan Freeman plays God and he's a janitor.
Oh, that's true.
That's probably it.
That is true.
Yeah, I think.
And
that's
then
it.
then you have Final Destination where
Also Carl from The Breakfast Club.
Oh,
He's not magical, but
he made the list.
he's magical to me. That or then the guy
That's
from
a great movie,
There's
though.
the guy from Scrubs too. Who's always
Yeah.
like, Anyway,
Oh, okay.
Offering the advice.
Well,
bring it
that's what I was gonna say. Like Final Destination, I don't think he's a janitor, or is he? Or he's a mechanic?
Tony Todd.
Tony.
Yeah.
No,
he's
he's
the one that knows everything
he's
going
like
on.
The funeral home
Funeral home. That's what it is. Mortician.
mortician.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's right. I thought about going into mortician
I could totally
school.
see you there.
Yeah.
That would be
I can
a
see you there
fun
with like
job.
your headphones in, jamming out to Britney, just like
Slicing
Putting
people.
makeup on a corpse.
embalming people.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's the liver. Oh, there's some intestines.
Speaking of,
Well, that's toxic.
speaking of putting makeup on a corpse, I just watched Death Becomes Her for the first time.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
I
and
don't know
that
what
one
that
is
is.
great. Oh, we're gonna have to make.
Is that
you
a
watch
movie?
That. Yes, it's,
Yes.
Okay,
you
well,
would
that's why I
love
haven't seen
it.
it.
It's so good. It's Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, and Bruce Willis.
Oh, okay.
And it's like he figures out this,
Well, no.
or he's given this potion by
The girls are given the potion.
the girls are given the potion, and he's like, I think he's a plastic surgeon.
Yeah, but
and-
he's
But it makes them, they can live forever. More, it makes them immortal,
Oh,
more or
okay.
less.
yes, but they die.
They-
and sorry, I'm being very loud.
They kill-
I'm turning stuff down. But they accidentally they murder each other essentially.
Oh, okay.
And so their bodies start to rot, even though like they're living forever.
Oh, that's cool.
And so he has to
I think I've heard of
fix
it.
their
actually.
bodies.
It was
as things go.
it was like a real breakthrough for visual effects. It's a Robert Zemeckis who made Back to the Future. It's one of his films.
Oh, okay.
And it's like there's a lot of really cool and a lot of cool stuff that really holds up like exceptionally well for like I think this was like 93. There's like her head like gets knocked off hanging on the back on her shoulder blades kind of
Yeah.
like and she like brings it back up and sets it in place and there's a lot of cool gags and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
That
Goldie
does sound
Hawn
good.
has a hole straight through her middle.
Yeah.
And so you can see
Okay,
through it all
I
the
have
time.
heard of this, or I've seen part of it, or something, because
Yeah.
I knew that.
It's fun.
It's good.
Maybe somebody just recommended it to me.
It's one of those, I remember watching that a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Just because it was so zany and fun.
People tend to recommend movies to me a lot, and I mean,
I think you would like
I don't
that.
know why
That
because I don't
one's
watch
good.
them, but
That's
so
a
maybe
good
I'll
one.
put that on my I should watch this one day before I die list.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I should have you guys make me a list like those scratch offs.
Like a poster or something.
that, and you scratch it off to watch movies.
Yeah.
Just a list so I can mark them off.
Okay. We'll see.
Or I guess technically, this podcast is my list
This is your list.
Yeah.
because it's curated by Josh. So,
Death
and then I get to throw fun ones in.
Yeah, so Death Becomes Her, Toby.
Josh would much rather talk about that than 17 again, is what we're hearing here. Sorry.
No, I mean, I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't the worst.
At least it wasn't horrible.
I mean, it wasn't. It's just run of
It's
the mill.
fun.
It's just run of the mill.
Like you said, the stuff between the friend and the principal, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, I just like him. I
yeah.
like Reno 911. I used to watch that.
That's
He's
where
so-
he's from.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I
done a
lo-
lot of stuff, but
I love
that's
Reno
probably the thing
911.
he's most known for. He's
Yeah.
the captain or sheriff or
With, like,
whatever.
the short ones.
Always wearing
Yep.
short shorts.
Yeah.
as little clothing as possible. Just he's almost dangling out. It's really great.
I like that. That's also where I'm Niecy Nash from.
Yeah.
And I love her.
Yeah, she's great. Everyone on that show is really. She's been in a lot of stuff. The blonde lady from Reno 911. I can't remember her name. She cracks me up in anything she's in. I remember her in Bridesmaids. And she's, have you seen Bridesmaids?
Yes,
she's like,
I love that.
I cracked a blanket. I love it. I love her.
That movie is so good.
It's such a great movie.
It is.
There's a comedy we both agree on. That's one that's like really smart.
Right.
It has, it may be some jokes go on a little long, but like,
it
actually has something to say about being that age.
Right.
And in that position. And Kristen Wiig is really great in the role. And
she is.
It's so funny. Like, I still crack up just thinking about Maya Rudolph walking across the street going, it's happening. It's
happening.
So fun.
I also love Maya.
Yeah, she's great. Everyone in that movie's great. That's and I like Melissa McCarthy in that one. That's one of the few things I like her in.
I like
that.
that one.
I love
Spy.
Melissa McCarthy.
I love her.
Spy's pretty
Spy.
good. Spy had
You didn't like Tammy?
No. She was okay in Spy, and
When she robs the gas station with a bag on her head?
no, it's not my cup of tea.
Oh. What about the one where she steals
I
an
like her
identity?
in Gilmore Girls, where she doesn't play a comedian at all.
I
She's
like her
Suki
in
in Gilmore Girls.
Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Oh, yeah, she was great.
I love her more when she's not just playing a loudmouth
Yeah.
kind of idiot role.
Did you watch? Well, no, you probably wouldn't like that. There was they did a TV show for Netflix or something together, her and her husband, and it was like God chose him to do something, and like nobody believed him, including her. I don't know. It was super funny.
Oh, okay.
Well, I really like her, so I thought it was super funny.
She just tended for a while to just play those like really loud, annoying roles.
I think that's what I
gets
like
on my nerves.
Maybe that's a little bit me.
You said that. I didn't say that.
No one said that.
Hey, I'm very self-aware. It's fine.
But
It's all right. Loud and annoying is our brand around here,
Yeah. Well, that's true.
which is weird for a library, but you know,
Right.
here we are.
yeah, Bridesmaids a good example of what 17 again like could have been. Like just something that's really a little bit better written, a little bit more has something to say.
And I do get that. And that's where I say like I like casual watching movies. Sometimes I like a movie like this that I can throw in, I can listen to, I can laugh, and I don't have to think about it.
It's okay like elevator music.
Yeah.
But I think like something like this, like if you had someone like Edgar Wright direct it, it would have been like really poppy. Like it would have like really had something to say. It would have been really stylistically like, energetic and unique. And he did like Shaun of the Dead and Baby Driver, Hot Fuzz, Last Night in Soho.
Which I still haven't seen.
You need to watch that.
I might take that home this weekend.
It's really good. We have the Blu-ray.
Okay. Been dying to see it.
We should do a podcast about that. Probably.
Well, maybe I'll pick that one. I don't know.
Okay, then I guess I won't take it home this weekend.
I mean, maybe we do that after, unless you guys have a plan. That might be a good February one after Todd's.
Yeah.
Because there's like a
Well, then I'll wait.
there's a
wanna do
romance to it, but it's also like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Dirty Dancing?
Like the original?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Okay.
I know.
It's just not my cup of tea.
No, I know. It's fine.
But I was also, I mean, this has been years ago. I mean, if I watched it again, I mean, I appreciated it for what it was.
We have 11 minutes left.
But,
It's fine.
and we've talked about, I feel like we've talked about the actual movie like 10 minutes.
That's okay.
But that's okay
That's how
because
it
that's
goes
exactly
sometimes.
what this is. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's fun. But I don't know. I just think, I mean, most likely I saw this movie when it came out. So I was probably a lot younger. Well, not probably. I was younger. But I don't know. It was just one of those that I've seen this movie probably like at least 5 times. And that's a lot for me to see a movie.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. But that's because it also like comes on TV or like I'm pretty sure my dad likes this one, so he'll have it on TV when I visit him or something like that. But
go ahead.
I see you looking at the little trivia.
Yeah, I'm looking
there.
at the trivia. So
I
it's
didn't
interesting.
read much. I didn't get all the way through it, but I did see that Zach had appendicitis.
Oh, really? Okay.
During the movie, and
Thomas Lennon.
yeah, he thought it was just like bad gas. Told him to hang upside down and it'll fix it. And turns out he ended up having to go to the hospital after filming and have surgery.
It's awesome.
Oof.
So, I mean, that's pretty
He's
cool
not
that he.
feeling 17 again now.
Yeah. But it's kind of cool that he did the movie with appendicitis. I mean,
He also did all of his basketball tricks.
That's what I was
He
getting ready to
had
say.
to
Yeah, he
use
did.
those
I will-
High School Musical skills.
I was going to say, by that time, he should know how to play
And I
basketball.
will say he does a good job, like of mimicking Matthew Perry.
He-
when he first goes back to like being young, he does it, and it's not like over the top. Like sometimes actors will try to mimic another actor and it'll
Yeah.
be like really big and like very obvious, but he does a very good job of like picking up some of his like mannerisms and speech, and so yeah,
That's actually
it's
something that
pretty good.
So he called Matthew Perry for help on his lines and mimicking some of his movements to
Yeah.
give a more authentic performance of that, which I think, and that's the reason why I do like Zac Efron. I do think he puts a lot into his acting. For a long time he came across as just a Disney character, like not character, but Disney actor or whatever. But
teen beat heartthrob.
yeah, but even in the like High School Musical and stuff, he still put himself into those roles, I think. And I don't know, I've always liked him even through those.
Well, the
Yeah, he's
opposite
alright.
of like what Robert Pattinson, who in like, did Twilight because he was like, this is going to be the paycheck that lets me
then
do
he
whatever
can
else.
yeah.
And so like his whole performance, he just phones it in.
Yeah,
Like all of Twilight, he's just like,
people ate it up.
yes.
I've never seen it.
Now he's
I
found
have
like
no
a nice
desire.
like he can do Batman and make a really great movie
Yeah.
and get a paycheck.
And
So
get
he was good in that.
Oh, he's
God,
fantastic
Is
in
he?
Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, and I think like they said like he's like Kurt Cobain Batman, Bruce Wayne. Like he's very like
Well, he's year one Batman. So yeah,
it's like it's very
he's-
young Batman.
Yeah.
It's like he's
okay.
very kind of grunge, very focused on nothing but being Batman, and like
Very sad boy.
yeah, he's very melancholic and like
Okay.
it's you won't like it, but it's a really great movie.
I don't know that I
don't
wouldn't
know.
like it.
It is like, I mean, it's long. It's like almost 3 hours, but it is.
Yeah,
It has like a steady pace, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, and there's a lot of like intrigue with like the mafia and gangsters, and it's something's like making me think of like The Godfather to
Yeah.
a certain extent. Like there's
And
a lot
that-
of how it intertwines into Bruce's life and
Okay.
his history, and
It really depends. I don't automatically be like, oh, yes, I do.
Yeah. And
As soon as you say 3-hour movie, I want to not watch it.
and
But
it is like a serial killer movie.
right.
The
Okay.
Riddler is basically, he's kind of like a mashup of John Doe and Seven,
Mhm.
and
Which was so good.
yeah, and like I don't know, Zodiac.
Yeah.
It's like
okay.
it's really, and it's definitely like inspired by like David Fincher, like Seven and Zodiac, like that
Yeah.
whole aspect, and it's like it's much less of like there's action in it. There's like awesome Batmobile chase and there's some stuff, but it's much more like a mystery thriller detective film.
Okay. That sounds interesting. And as long as a movie is interesting and it's good, like
Yeah.
Green Mile, that's
Oh yeah, that's a great
at
movie.
least 3 hours, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a little over
Yeah.
three, I think.
I will say, like if it's like you don't usually like superhero movies or something, it is my favorite superhero movie I think ever.
Yeah.
Is the new Batman. Yeah.
very
And
fair.
I like almost all of them, but it's so grounded and so good. Like, and it has what's his face playing
Colin Farrell.
no
or-
Paul
Paul Dano.
Paul Dano,
The
who
Riddler.
is so good in everything he's in.
He's great in Fablemans.
He's great in Swiss Army Man and Love and Mercy
There We Blood.
and
Well,
all
too bad he
that
wasn't
kind
in
of stuff.
17 again.
I know, baby Paul Dano.
I think he's okay with it.
I think he's but that is to say, like going back to the Zac Efron.
But Colin Farrell plays the Penguin, and he's like,
Oh, okay.
who actually he won Golden Globe last night for Banshees of Inisherin. He was fantastic in that.
I didn't know he still acted.
And they're doing a Penguin TV show too.
With him?
Yeah, where he's playing the Penguin.
Oh, cool.
That's gonna be like on
Now, see,
HBO
that interests
Max.
me. I don't know why, but the Penguin always interests me.
He's so weird being the
Probably because that's the only
it's
Batman
so weird
I've
to see
seen,
him
but-
be the Penguin. I
Yeah,
guess like
all the makeup and everything.
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
really fantastic. Like, he's
especially-
unrecognizable.
especially because the movie I watched closest to that was the vampire movie remake.
Fright Night?
Fright Night
Oh, yeah.
with him in it, and he's like
That's Colin Farrell being like the most Colin Farrell.
hot vampire
Yeah.
TM, like no,
Like hot, seductive vampire next
and
door.
I was like, this is really weird.
And then he's like, the next one he's like hobbling around in a
Yeah,
fat suit.
I was like, I'm confused. I don't know
But he does them both well, I guess.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's
So
he's a
that's-
really great actor. I know
yeah.
he kind of started out and he was just kind of like, they kind of put him up there as like kind of like a action-y kind of heartthrob guy, but he's really become a really fantastic.
He is really good.
And he's like arguably the Daredevil movie is not great, but he is having so much fun chewing scenery in that movie that he's probably the best part of the movie. Aside from like some of the obvious callbacks to the Frank Miller
Like
run
the original Daredevil with
with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
I've seen that.
He's Bullseye in that.
Okay. I don't remember that. I mean,
I like
it's
the
been a
new
long
Daredevil.
time.
He's good. Back to the movie, guys.
Yeah, 17 again.
Reiterate, but what I was using
Back to the
Batman to
movie, but I'm
say-
going to talk.
No, what I was using Batman to say is that Zac Efron, even when he was a younger actor doing like the things that would get your name out there and make you famous,
Yeah.
he definitely put in the effort.
Right.
Whereas Pattinson's great. He's a phenomenal actor. But when he was younger, he was just like,
Getting that paycheck.
I just need this paycheck.
Yeah.
So I can
It feels
go do some
different.
cool stuff.
Like Zac Efron feels like he's trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying with, learning to mimic Perry a little bit and doing his own basketball stuff. Like he puts the work in, I feel.
I really liked him in Greatest Showman too.
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
Neighbors.
Neighbor. Yeah. He has a lot of good ones.
Yeah, he's done some good stuff. I'll have to check out the Ted Bundy one.
Well, I think
We were going to
Maybe
do an
don't
episode
yet.
on that.
Okay, well, at some point I'll check it out.
yeah, we're going to do it. I think that would be a great one to do, because that was kind of my plan, was do one of his teen movies
and then
do one of his
serious.
more serious ones, just
Yeah.
to see your take on the difference in those, because I think he's a good actor. He has one that
He
he's
has
not
a lot of
in-
his potential.
remember the name of it, but there's the movie about JFK, the shooting.
Parkland.
Parkland. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good movie, and it's follows after the shooting, but he's just a doctor in the hospital.
Yeah.
He's just like, he's not the main lead whatsoever in that movie.
Yeah, that's a big
And-
ensemble movie.
But he has like a part that really has feeling to it, and he does really well.
That's how you know you're getting old, is when like Zac Efron's playing the dad in the Firestarter remake.
Yes, which I still haven't seen. I need to watch. Yeah.
Funny, you watch these movies like when you're a kid and like David Keith's the dad, and you're like, that guy's old. Now it's just like, that guy's me. That guy's younger than me.
Right. That might
Anyway,
be something. Do we have the original Firestarter?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It doesn't hold up that well.
Yeah.
George C. Scott's great in it.
Well, I just thought about going back and watching the original and then watching the new one.
Yeah. I
Maybe
heard the
I'll
new
just
one
watch
was
it.
not good.
Yeah. I haven't heard
Yeah,
much about it, so I'm
originally-
assuming it's not good.
Originally, John Carpenter was going to direct that.
Yeah.
And then I don't think he wanted to do 2 Stephen King adaptations back to back because he had just done Christine.
Yeah.
But man, a John Carpenter Firestarter movie would have been awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
But-
he did great with
Anyway,
Christine.
so yeah, 17 again. Like, I don't know. It's all right.
Not the worst.
I'm not going to watch it again.
Yeah.
Ever.
Okay.
Unless it's like torture and I'm forced to, Clockwork Orange style. And I have no other option other than to keep my eyes open.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been worse.
It could have been worse. It could have been Coyote Ugly or Crossroads.
I still understand that. Both good
I just hate
movies.
that movie. I hate it when people act
Man.
stupid.
I know, but
And,
it's,
like-
that's the point of the movie.
Yeah, I don't like it.
That was the, depth there that you had to read between.
It's like an I can read book out here reading between those
I,
lines.
All right, I think you guys are going to like this. I have our late February episode. We're going to do surprisingly
it's anime.
heartwarming horror movies. So we're going to do Train to Busan
I haven't
and
seen-
Last Night in Soho.
I don't know.
How's that sound?
That's just your pick. You're gonna.
I'm going to do it.
Okay. It's fine. 'Cause
Toby's episode.
I haven't seen Train to Busan. You haven't seen it.
You haven't seen
seen
Train to Busan? Oh my
I've
God.
heard a lot about it, but I haven't
It's
seen
so good. Okay.
Have you
It's a-
heard good things or bad things?
No, good things. I've heard it's really good. I think
there's
they
a
did
Joe
a
Bob
second one too.
for
Didn't they?
Train to Busan.
Okay, that'll be fun. I'll watch that.
Oh, because February's like love month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So we're going to do surprisingly heartwarming horror movies.
Yeah,
Train to Busan doesn't have a love story. It's a family movie. I think you're going to love it.
I'll have the bucket ready for you.
Yeah. I'll watch this
No,
with
I mean neither. Like Last
bag
Night's Soho is
beside
not
me.
like a love story, but it has like a
It has a I mean, it
there-
is, but it's not in the way that you expect it to
it's
be.
not it's not like a,
Okay.
it's not like a lovey-dovey kind of,
Well, I want to see that one, so at least I'd like one of them probably.
yeah.
You should watch the trailer for Train to Busan. You're going to be about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
All right.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do sometime in February.
Yeah.
Might be our Valentine's Day episode.
It'll be our
or something.
February 15th episode.
Yeah.
We might put it on the 14th, though.
We should do
Look at
that.
us getting crafty,
Look at us.
creative. Well, I guess that brings us to the end of talking about everything and a little bit of 17 again.
Yeah, we got like about 3.5 minutes of 17 again in there.
Yeah, but it sparked a lot of conversation.
Yeah,
So at least
yeah.
it did that.
Well, we covered things that are like not like
Connected to it in a way.
Connected to it in some degree, you know.
Things it pulled from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
At least it was a good conversation starter.
It was tolerable.
All right. I'll take tolerable.
Yeah. So now,
All right. Well, I guess from here we'll jump into some announcements and then we will come back and discuss Mulholland Drive.
All right, coming up in February, we have on February 4th a Community Creative Space Sewing Workshop. On February 6th, the Community Creative Space Glass Etching class. I believe both of those may be already booked out by the time of release, but keep your eye out on our calendar for the next time we have great events like that. On February 21st, we have Cozy Coloring. It's just a time to come get together with other adults and color and listen to some music. And then February 27th, our book club will be back with an artist of the floating world, and we will meet at 6 p.m. You can come pick up your books starting February 6th. I'm going to pass it on over to Kendall with youth.
Hi guys, it's Kendall here from Youth Services at SCPL. We have a jam-packed February for you. We have, of course, our regular storytime programming, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. We are here with Alphabets on Tuesday, Words and Wiggles on Thursday. Both are story times aimed at kids ages 5 and below, and we dance and sing and read, and it's a great time. Also starting February 6th, we have our United States Passport Adventure beginning at the Imagination Station. Kids can come in and pick up their own U.S. passport. And as they learn about each of the 50 states and the U.S. territories, they can get a stamp or a sticker in their passport. And this is just a great way for kids to have fun and learn more about our country and a little bit of history, geography, maybe even a little bit about fun food along the way. We also have 2 meetings of our teen movie club, Real Readers, this month. On February 3rd at 3 o'clock, we will be showing The Rocketeer. And then 2 weeks later on February 17th, also at 3 o'clock, we'll be showing Beetlejuice. 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 Both of which are sure to be a great time. And then we have 2 special events this month. On Saturday the 25th at 2 p.m., we have a local author coming in to read some of her books to our little ones. Her name is Renee Eccles Hardy, and she will be touching on Black History Month and how to love ourselves and think positively. So we're very excited about that. That's 2 p.m. on February 25th. That's a Saturday. And then following that, Tuesday, February 28th, in the evening at 6:30, we are going to have a big showdown. Unicorns versus dragons. Miss Liv and I are going to take opposite sides of this raging debate of which is better. I am, of course, representing unicorns. Miss Liv is representing dragons. And you can come in and cast your vote. We're going to debate. We're going to have snacks. It's going to be an awesome time. So please mark your calendars for that event on the 28th in the evening. And I think that's all of our February programs. So I'm going to pass it back to Toby. We can't wait to see you this month. Thank you.
All right, guys, now we're headed back to the show.
so Mulholland Drive, Aaron,
Yes.
I made you watch this movie.
You did make me watch
So
this movie.
This is your first David Lynch film, I think.
As far as I know. Might be my last.
So, all right.
Aren't you prepared?
So
Let's start it off. So tell us Why
Why?
you?
I like David Lynch. I'm a little hit or miss sometimes. Blue Velvet is pretty good, mostly for Dennis Hopper. I really love Dennis Hopper in the movie. Twin Peaks, like the first season's fantastic. I love The Elephant Man. I'm like hit or I like about half his movies. I love this though.
Okay.
This is like, so I didn't see it in theaters because I don't think it ever came here. So I only saw it when it came out on DVD. It's the first movie that I legit watched and then immediately rewatched it. And I took pages and pages of notes on that I no longer have, and I wish I did. It's, we're just trying to figure it out, you know.
Right.
And this is like, you know, this is 20 years ago. So I'm like, this is 2001. I probably saw it in 2002. So, you know, I'm like 18.
Yeah. Did it not come here? Was it like limited release?
I mean, it
type
wasn't
thing?
like a wide release. It was
okay.
only in like maybe a few hundred theaters or something.
Okay.
So it didn't make it here, but I did see it on DVD. And the movie just like totally captured my imagination, and like the way it's told, the dream like mystery, how it's all wrapped up in these like dreams that, you know, especially like in the first hour, you are not, it just seems really random, and it seems like it's going to be building to a more conventional resolution. Like all these people are going to almost like Pulp Fiction or something, where they're going to intersect somewhere,
Right.
and they don't really, not in a conventional way, because it's all a dream, more or less. Watching it again, I haven't seen it. It's been a few years, and the thing I took away this time was I feel like a lot of it became more clear this time. The thing that struck me the most was just how much empathy I felt for Diane / Betty, you know, Naomi Watts, for what she went through, and the tremendous guilt and pain that she was feeling, and that led her to be tormented and terrorized to the point, you know, that we see at the end of the film.
I think the phrase you're looking for is insane. Like,
Well, it's not-
I don't
I
feel
mean-
a lot of pity for. She ordered a hit on a girl for not liking her back in the same way
But
that
it's-
she liked her. Like, I don't know that that's exactly a pitiable situation. Yes, like it sucks to be that
Well, I
crazy,
think-
but she's definitely crazy and
Yeah, but I
evil.
don't like to take
Like-
that kind of like hard stance, because you know, I think what the film does is it shows how her mind is operating
Yeah.
through her like basically her masturbatory fantasy is the whole film.
Yeah.
And like what's you know, and most of that is not necessarily how it happened, but it's how she feels it happened.
Right.
And I feel like that's one of the great pleasures of the film, is that it takes someone in maybe in a more conventional narrative that would have just been, oh, she's just crazy, you know,
Yeah.
she's insane. But it really puts you in her psyche to try to understand why a person would do that, because people do that, and
Well,
there's never just a black and white reason why they would do something like that, and
Yeah.
why they would feel. I mean, and her, the guilt and torment she feels about that is, you know, that makes her, you know, a whole human being, that she realizes
Right.
what she's done,
Right.
and it's not just some, you know, psychotic break or something.
Well-
It's just like, you know, I don't know. That's the takeaway I took. Like,
I think that kind of madness is always pitiable. Like, it's sad that, you know, this is what she felt driven to, or those kind of things. But I also don't think, I mean, I think I have trouble feeling a lot of empathy for like someone who, you know, it's like that was not a reasonable escalation of the situation. And it's
well,
like,
we
yeah,
don't actually
yeah.
know like what the whole situation is.
No,
to a
but I
certain
don't
degree.
think
That's
that
true.
there's a point where
No, I mean, not,
calling out a hit on your ex is ever a reasonable like
no,
solution
but
to
I
the
mean,
situation.
it's
If they
I don't
tried to
know.
have you murdered, maybe.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like,
well, I mean, it's like a heightened thing. It's like a bit of a theatrical
right.
hoarding a hit. Like it's a very
Right.
Hollywood thing.
Yeah.
And it's,
Well, that's also true, yeah.
And that's the whole, one of the other things about the movie is it's all just like a, you know, an indictment of Hollywood and the star system, and, you know,
Right.
and similar to like Showgirls, just like the desire to climb the ladder,
Brutality,
you
yeah.
know. And so, yeah,
So it's one of
I
your
love-
favorites.
it's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
I think on my top 100, it landed like, I don't know, 27 or 28. Like it's really high for me.
Yeah.
And 'cause it just means a lot to me. And it, like I said, it was like one of those first movies that I literally just watched it twice, like 2 times in a row, like no breaks. I just restarted it. So anyway, what did you think, Aaron?
All right. Well, now I don't know that I want to tell you because it seems like you really like this movie. No. Okay, so I'll start with the good. I like the story of the actual story of what's going on. Mm-hmm. Okay, now the bad. But I mean, honestly, story is a big thing for me. So
okay,
I did like the story. I thought the first half or like most of it was just boring. It just didn't capture my attention. And even though I like when they bounce around to different stories, and I definitely thought it was going to be something which we've talked about on here before, that I like different stories then they like cross somehow. Yeah. So I did think that was going to happen for sure. But there was just something about it that it almost has a feeling of, it's like an artsy type film.
Yeah.
But it almost felt forced to me a little bit. Like it was artsy to be artsy rather than it just happened to be artsy.
I don't feel that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's what I felt. I don't know.
The first half is supposed to, I mean, especially, I'd say maybe the first hour and a half is like.
Yeah, it was like most of the movie.
It's a good chunk of the movie. It's about 2/3 of the movie. Yeah. It's like, it is her dream. Like you're in like.
Right, but you don't know that.
Well, the first shot of the film is like a head laying and is the camera going into a pillow.
Oh.
So it's like.
Okay, well, obviously I missed that.
You missed the first shot of the movie.
No. Well, it was probably because I hated the intro.
Missed the implication to the first shot of the movie, which is a common thing for people.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I might have not like been like, oh, maybe that's somebody dreaming.
But yeah, so I mean,
casual movie watcher.
Okay.
Unless it showed Zac Efron laying his head on the pillow, I don't know. He's sleeping.
He also didn't watch it twice back to back. I think you noticed the pillow more the second time you watch the movie than you do the first time.
But I think. So it was, for me, it was like, it just didn't capture my attention enough. I liked the story and all of that, but the weird feeling I got of like a forced artsy probably turned me off of it a little bit. But then you get to, and I think it's about when they go to Silencio.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite scenes in any movie.
So at first, that's like my interest really peaked right there. And it could be because they were singing in Spanish because I love Spanish music. I don't know. But that was beautiful. I thought it was really cool. The guy was interesting. It got really weird. But then that's also where they lost me. Like past that, I didn't know what was going on whatsoever. Once they found that blue box, which I don't know if I missed something, but did she just like pull a purse from beside her and it had that blue box, or did she have it all along?
Because
like I thought,
it all along. I think. I mean,
we don't see it till then, though, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, unless I missed something, but that's what I was curious
the part
about.
Where they're
logical.
Right, exactly. Well, now I know that.
Yeah,
and that's what I was wondering because I thought I actually missed something. Like I might have looked away or something.
No, I don't think so.
And I watched that scene like 3 times.
I think that's kind of the part where the dream she starts to wake up from the dream.
Right.
And I think that's like because she has the key.
Mm-hmm.
The blue key, and that goes in the box, and that's kind of like the key. Like she wakes up.
Yeah. Well, see, I didn't know that. So when I got to the part where they go home and they have the blue box and they have the key, and like they're getting ready to open it, and then one of them just disappears, and then somebody random shows in the doorway. I don't know. It just 100% lost me.
What's her waking up? Like it's like it's kind of done seamlessly.
Yeah.
Where
I also thought she was dead. I don't understand. I don't know. Isn't she dead?
Well, this is going back before she dies, before she kills herself.
Oh, okay.
Because so you have the dream. So the movie starts, she's going into her dream. Mm-hmm. But it's some like idealized version of her dream. Like she's even, and I love how they have like when she arrives to LA, she's very like kind of perky and all shucks, like about being an actress.
But it's not actually her. It's
well, it's like it's her dream version of her. It's like an idealized version of what happened to her when she came to LA.
Right.
Okay.
But that's the other character, right? The brown-haired lady.
No, that's Naomi Watts. That's Diane / Betty.
In the dream.
In the dream, it's Betty.
Oh, okay.
She's because she gets that from the name tag on the
right.
waitress at the diners. And so this is all a dream, and then she wakes up, and then she's kind of showing you the aftermath of what happened. Like you have 3 scenes there. You have the scene with her in the kitchen, where she's she's kind of like seeing, I don't know, she's making coffee, and it's just like, and I think they have some shots of, or a shot of the Blue Key, and her former roommate comes and gets her stuff. And they really linger on the Blue Key there for a second, you know. And then the next scene, I think, is at the diner where she's hiring the hitman.
Right.
And then the Blue Key is introduced. And so that's what I mean. Like, the movie replays really well because you notice things that are set up later that are actually in the movie earlier. It's
right. And I think that would make sense. Like, so when the movie ended, I definitely did not realize, I was literally like, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
And so I immediately started researching it and reading about it. So see, I put some work in.
There you go.
And that's when I read about, like, it's all a dream. It's the way she does it. Some of the shots where where the other, where Rita's in it is actually things that happened to her, but she puts Rita in it in her dream and all this stuff.
Because that's how dreams work, you know. They're
right.
They're all over the place. They don't. You know.
100%. And if I knew that and was able to realize that, it might have made more sense to me. But it was like,
that's why they have a POV shot of the camera going into a pillow.
Yes, which I obviously missed after that horrible intro of people weirdly dancing in some kind of blue space.
But that's the jitterbug contest she won. They got her the trip to Hollywood.
But it's still...
That's what I mean.
Listen,
like, you have to watch it. That's why you almost have to watch it twice.
Yeah, well...
Like, when we watched the movie, she wanted to watch it right away, like right again. Like,
right, and I could understand
kind of addictive.
But... I mean, we learned in the 007 episode that I do not like long intros anyways.
Intro was like 4 minutes.
It was 4 minutes of just weirdly dancing, and I didn't know why.
You mean the title? Like the opening titles?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't like opening titles.
I even love those opening titles because it's like the jitterbug, but you didn't have these like flashes of like stuff coming through.
Yeah, I thought it was super weird.
I know. That's why it's awesome.
Oh, okay.
You claim to like weird stuff. And I
like dead things, not like that kind of weird.
Let's be clear that, like, Lynch weird is a very specific flavor of weird, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. All like, right. I personally don't love most of what, like, Lynch's filmography. His weird doesn't speak to me. I think the same way people feel about, like, Wes Anderson.
Yeah, I don't like
if you have a style that is like your style, which Lynch has a style. Yeah. I mean, he breaks out of it sometimes, but it's his style. Then that style doesn't appeal to everybody and doesn't always, like, track for everyone. Like, people don't always follow it the right way.
And
I don't love all of his movies either.
Yeah. Well, I think
I couldn't watch the Twin Peaks, The Return. Like, I made like a couple episodes and I was like,
well, let's be real. Like, Twin Peaks, though, even though he is definitely, like, in the directing, like, team for Twin Peaks, he doesn't direct, like, it's a TV show.
Well, then the new one he did.
The
new one was all him. Like, all 17 hours or whatever of it was.
Well, the original Twin Peaks, like, you get other directors.
Just getting up his own rear about everything. And I'm like, oh, God, this should have been just a movie.
And I think that's probably what did it for me was the stylization of like his style that I couldn't follow.
Okay.
And I think honestly, I think that's the main problem. It's not so much that it was a horrible movie. It was that I just couldn't follow it. And that may be...
Well, you're not necessarily supposed to understand it on first viewing.
Right.
Or like really... Like what he always says, and this way I like, and something like Kubrick says too, is movies aren't really an intellectual medium. Mm. They're not really... it's not like if you like Kubrick would say something like if you want to learn about some event or some, something, don't watch a movie. Movies are about feeling. Right. And Lynch's films, especially this one, are not like, and he said it's like don't try to understand it, just feel it. And that's really what I got this go around was I was just feeling what Diane was going through and what she was feeling, and it made it very rewarding. For me, but it's also fun to try to put it all together because I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably his most coherent film. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You should watch all Silent.
That's true.
That was mind blowing.
I mean, Blue Velvet's pretty standard. It's pretty. I mean, not like mainstream, but it's like it is a pretty straightforward narrative.
Yeah, and Blue Velvet feels more like an exploitation film. Like it's definitely got some of that like Lynch.
Yeah, like his
feel, but like
and the things he likes, like this. I'm almost kind of like hokey like 50s vibe and music and stuff. Like he loves that. And so like this and Blue Velvet are probably his most coherent films. But it's like, you know, it's still fun to kind of put all the pieces together, especially with this one where it's like, if you can, and it makes sense.
I get that. And I think, like I said, I don't know that it was necessarily the movie. I think it's the style that it was shot in, because I did like the story. And talking about it, like the story itself, I like it.
Yeah.
And when I went and read afterwards, I was like, oh, this is a really cool take on the, you know, how this story plays out. But it was just something about it, and I'm guessing it was the style mixed with like my ADHD. I don't know, but I just could not follow it. Okay. And I think that's, like I said in the beginning, or for most of the movie, it just felt kind of flat to me, kind of boring. And although the story was interesting, I feel like it wasn't coming through in an exciting way. And then once you get to that blue box, I was gone. I was lost 100%. Now, I will say, like, it piqued my interest, and I was like really trying to figure out what was going on, but I could not. And maybe it's because I missed knowing that it was a pillow in the beginning. I don't know. But the dream thing never clicked until I read about it.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't realize that's what was going on.
So for me, it is a fantastic take on like how dreams actually work, because every character in the story is Diane in some way. It's like Diane's desires, Diane's like, so she takes the girl who rejected her and makes her vulnerable. Yeah. And like totally like need her instead of like, you know, and
it's almost like some cheesy romance novel kind of, oh, she has amnesia and she doesn't remember, just like beautiful kind of like, you know, dark-haired Barbie, you know, she's, of course they fall in love, and you know, it's like it's very romanticized in her dream. In her dream.
And that's what I say, like all of that I really like. I love things about dreams, and because I think our dreams tell us a lot, and I like the storyline. Once I read it, I was like, this totally makes sense. But it was just that I didn't catch on during it. Okay. But the story itself, I think it's a good story. Yeah, so I don't think it's a horrible movie. I would never watch it again. Yeah. But I think it's just, I think most of it was the style. I just couldn't wrap my head around it, I think. All right. And maybe that's more my issue than the movies.
I don't necessarily know you're supposed to the first go around.
No.
Like if you give it a few years.
Well, they should have told me that.
Well, because some movies aren't meant to be digested all at once in one sitting.
True.
I mean,
I like to understand what's going on though, and then you rewatch it and you see even more what's going on.
Well, I mean, that's what would happen to this one if you watched it again.
Well, for the purposes of the podcast, we might should have told you it was a dream before we made you watch it.
But I don't know. I mean, because if you went to see this when it came out, like you wouldn't have known that.
You wouldn't have known. Yeah, that's true.
Well, and the movie does clue you in with the first shot of the movie.
Well, yes,
yes, but it's just the first shot, and at that time, I'm still trying to get over the opening.
The camera goes into a pillow and then it fades to.
Can you Google that? I would like to see that shot because I don't remember it. I thought it opened up with some fog or something. Could it be that the pillow looked like fog to me?
No, it's like a burgundy pillow, I think. Oh, it does not look like fog.
So now that we've watched it, I honestly don't think I would have even known it was a pillow just now if you hadn't told me. It's not like you see a pillow on a bed and then it zooms in. It's already zoomed in to this red fabric. Mm-hmm. So although on this, watching it now, I did see a shadow coming towards it, which makes sense. But on first watch, there is no way. And on second watch, without you telling me, there is no way I would have caught on to that.
What we've learned from this episode is that Aaron is unable to decipher simple shapes. Seen in everyday life.
But that's what I feel like is you don't see the shape of the pillow.
It's clearly a pillow, and it's like a bed. You even see the nightstand.
Was that just now? Did I see the nightstand just now?
I don't think it's as clear as you think it is.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I mean, like they're cutting it a little bit there, but like in the movie, I feel like it's a longer shot, and you see that it's clearly a bed.
Oh, okay.
But I also feel that it's one of those things where if it happens so if it's there.
Turn into real opposites. We argue. There's a pillow.
It is a pillow. No, but it's okay. So this is like the Chekhov's gun kind of thing, right? Like in a movie that's trying to be about something in a specific way, like this is, every shot has a purpose.
Yeah.
In a teen movie or a made-for-TV movie, not every shot has a purpose.
Yeah,
so
it's just scenes of people talking.
it's the idea of watching, like, you have to watch it in a different way. And so if you didn't go into this expecting to watch it in a way where with you hit every scene, you have to think about, okay, why is
Right.
this scene this way? Then it's not going to read the
That's
way
just how
that
you should
would
watch
hope
movies.
it would read.
That's
Right.
why I'm disappointed by stuff like 17 again,
But
because I want more.
But that's
But
not.
this is why I like things like 17
Well, it doesn't
again,
mean
because
that,
I
that
don't.
something like 17 again can't be more than what it is, and they should strive to be more than what it is than just your standard.
But then what would people like me watch?
That's not how.
that would make people like you watch things that are better.
No, it would make me watch more reality TV.
Well, then that would be fine. I don't know. I just don't like it when filmmakers are lazy. And I've gotten, I was more forgiving of that stuff when I was younger, but as I get older, I want more out of my movies.
Yeah,
I
think it might have helped if I saw her get in bed.
I don't want dumb movies anymore. I don't want dumb action movies or dumb horror movies, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of bored of B movies, so I just want more good movies.
I think that.
And I don't mind like a bad like Joe Bob movie.
Yeah.
Like I like one of those. I like the Joe Bob stuff, but like I don't know. I want good movies.
I like a B movie.
Life's getting short. I'm halfway there. I want quality.
So I have a different. I have a different opinion. I think there's definitely a place for both, and I enjoy both. I think that it's like, okay, so I have this argument all the time with people about like the place of young adult fiction in the world. Is that sometimes like people dismiss young adult because it's written at like, a 5th to 8th grade reading level, and it's like quick to digest, or fantasy. If fantasy gets dismissed in the same kind of way, because it's like it's easier to digest. It's not like highly intellectual literature with a capital L kind of
A
deal.
lot of adult fiction is now written on a 5th to 8th grade reading level.
Yeah,
too.
well, that's
like some of the popular adult fiction is.
And then people dismiss it, but sometimes you want to think. And then sometimes you just want to enjoy
and know what's right there.
and know what's in front of you. And I think it's okay. Like, I think you have to leave that space for people to enjoy things that they can kind of check out and still have a good, part of art is to say something and part of it is to entertain. And it can do both. But I think sometimes it's okay to do one or the other.
That's a good point, because there are times when a movie like this, I would probably really want to watch and I want to think. And it's just very rare for me in a movie that I'm in that mood. Yeah. But there are times that I'm in a mood where something like this probably would have came across a lot different to me. Well, but it's the same with reading. I like Stephen King. I like true crime, but then I love young adult.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing is, like, I think movies like this are entertaining. Like, it doesn't have to be dumbed down to be entertaining and engaging.
Yeah, but sometimes
I don't know though.
When you're like, sometimes.
I know that. Like, I get that. I've
about
been
relaxation.
there. Yeah. And like, I still will like something. Like, I love Van Damme movies.
Yes.
So it's like his like period from like the late 80s to like Time Cop. But those are dumb movies. But
right.
I feel like there's still stuff in like something like that I can latch onto that they're at least well made, and like, I don't know. But those are kind of my checkout movies, like that I'll put on for like some comfort or something, or just kind of want a dumb movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like they don't do those as well anymore because they're not as well made. Like, even if you like, so this episode we're gonna talk about Time Cop. So like Time Cop's not a great movie, but it's at least like coherent. And the action, the stunts, and the effects are pretty great, and it's like it takes itself mostly seriously. That's a good checkout movie for me. Like, because they're at least trying to do something, and I can feel that in the movie. And it's like, I can't believe I'm saying this about Time Cop.
Never seen it.
I feel that way about I think for most B movies, I'm that way. Like, they had to have tried. Like they couldn't. I hate.
Yeah, no,
I hate like
like-
Sharknado. Like that's stupid.
No, yeah, that's
but,
the
like,
exact opposite.
Yeah, but like I mean, I think if you tried to make a movie and it's not necessarily super intellectual or like, then that's okay. Like
Yeah,
you
not every
know.
movie has to be like Mulholland Drive or
You
something,
did
but
your
at least
best.
what's that?
17 again?
No, it's a Wes Craven movie, the one with Christy Swanson, where it's like turns into like a cyborg or something. Oh,
I don't know about that.
It's really good.
I like Christy Swanson and I like Wes Craven, so.
It's and it was like it just came out recently. Like it was
Because
just
what
finally
was Christy Swanson? The original Buffy.
It's the original Buffy,
That's right.
Deadly Friend.
That I've
So
never
it
even
is
heard
this.
that.
It's a
That's
goofy like '80s horror movie
hmm
that it also has some like engaging subtext that slides in under the horror elements and like
Right.
the outlandishness of it.
Well, and I think those kind of movies are good. I think he does that with Scream as well.
Yeah, Scream's a good example of that.
that's a
Like
great
it's entertaining,
example.
but it's also has some
And that
subtext
is one of
about-
my checkout movies.
about horror and violence and
Right.
you know. So I don't know. I mean, you can. I just prefer when you're at least trying to do both.
Yeah.
And
And I get
like
that.
something like 17 again, it just is not hitting anything.
I feel like
anything
that's-
like that for me.
I feel like maybe I have a level of checkout. Like this one is like a definite check, or well, 17 again is a definite checkout where I can just listen to it. Like it's that kind of thing. I can.
Okay.
In fact, when I was finishing it last night, my back was to the TV. But I've also seen it a couple times. But it is something I could just listen to, and I know what's happening without even looking.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I like some movies like that sometimes. Same with young adult. It's very upfront. You know what's happening. It's not a subtext kind of thing. But there are a lot of times that there's going to be a movie that I'm going to want to watch that does have subtext and it has that. So I think I have different levels, and it's just not very often that I get to that big time subtext level like a Mulholland Drive type movie.
Okay.
And I think that's a personal thing because
No,
I don't.
yeah, that's fine.
I don't
Yeah,
enjoy
I'm not-
movies
I'm not-
that like
yeah,
crazy.
I don't mean to like that you
Oh,
guys have
no.
to like like.
Oh, no,
I'm just
I mean-
saying like that's where I'm at.
Right, exactly,
Well,
and
I
that's what
just,
I'm saying is
yeah.
that's just where I'm at. So it comes into how we're quite opposite in
Real
what we like.
opposites. Well, I think everyone has their media at which they go on that deep dive, right? Like so,
Right.
like Aaron listens to a lot of podcasts. I feel like that's where you do a lot of your learning.
Yeah,
Josh
That's where
does
I do
a lot
of
of
my,
his
like-
learning about films and movies. That's where Josh does his learning.
yeah.
I think everyone has their media, their form via which they digest deeper levels of information.
Yeah. Now, one thing I like as far as movies that is more serious and you really have to pay attention and you're getting a lot of information is documentaries.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of usually when I want to really pay attention to something, I watch a documentary because I love those.
No, I love documentaries too.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Did you watch the Miss Cleo one?
no, I didn't watch
Oh,
that.
it was actually interesting. It was better than I thought it was going to be because the story was different than I thought it was.
The best like documentary, at least like series, is the OJ Made in America.
I haven't seen that.
So good. I watched it
What?
like 3 times.
You didn't
Yeah.
like the Tiger King?
Tiger King, like it was.
I loved
Tiger King is the 17 again of docu-series.
I loved it.
It's so stupid and ridiculous.
Yes.
I mean, the story's ridiculous, and it's like how like what
These
How crazy?
people, yeah, like
Yeah.
that level of people exist. That I absolutely loved it. But this is also,
But I also
you have to
felt-
remember, we were like stuck in our houses.
Yeah, and I also there's like limited
Yeah.
available new content to
Right,
watch or
exactly.
new.
They weren't making new
I hate
stuff.
that word content, but yeah, just new movies or shows or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also just kind of felt the part of it just kind of felt exploitive after
Oh, 100%.
not just like of the Tigers too, but of just everyone's pain and
Yeah.
it felt kind of like
'Cause there was a lot
it
of
felt
that.
kind of mean spirited
Yeah.
to a certain degree.
Some of it felt really gross.
Yeah, the OJ ones. Oh my god, it's so good. I watched it like
I need
3
to watch
times.
that.
Yeah, it's almost hard to watch too, but
Yeah. That's something I think would be a good episode is if we did like a documentary episode.
yeah. Well, we're doing one next time.
I don't think you ever watched Mommy, Dad, and Dearest. I think it's
No, I haven't. Well, maybe we'll do
really
that.
good.
I'll pick OJ and you'll watch like 9 hours of documentary, and I'll watch
No.
an hour and a
It has
half.
to be a movie.
I mean,
I'll
I
pick
have
a
to watch it.
documentary.
to be honest, the OJ one's probably more down my alley.
I know, but pick a movie.
I'll pick a movie.
And that's the weird thing. And like, it's so much of a commitment issue that I have with movies that if I want, if
You
I
would get through the OJ documentary faster.
Probably
than you
one
get through
night.
a movie. You
Like,
'cause
one day.
you'll get hooked to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
'Cause
thing. It's
especially,
so
like,
weird.
You were just like really little when that happened. This is like 94.
I'm not-
You would have just.
I'm
been
not
like
so
sick.
much younger than you.
Well, you would have just been sick.
I would have been 1 year
And
old.
I would have been like 11, 12. So I mean, I would have been more. I remember coming home every day and watching the damn OJ trial every single day because that's
Yeah.
all mom and dad wanted to watch. I'd be like, "Can we watch something else?
I watched the stand up.
Can I watch some Ghostbusters or something, guys?"
I watched a stand up about that. It was John Mulaney, I think, talking to a little girl in the audience, and he's like, "What's your name?" She's like, "Lucy," and he's like, "All right, Lucy. So when I was growing up, you didn't need cartoons or cable or anything." He's like, "Because what you watched was the OJ trial."
Yeah.
He's like, "That's all everybody watched."
That's all I'm saying.
For
Is like
a year.
at that age, you might not have been cognizant of like what was going on
Right.
with that, you know. Whereas because your parents might not have been like, "Okay, we're gonna watch OJ for 3 hours tonight."
Yeah.
OJ trial.
I feel like I was older though, because I can remember.
Well, you're 88, and the trial like it happened in 94 and it led into 95, so you would have been like 6, 7, like when this happened.
I swear I remember. It was after our first
the
house
trial went on
fire.
for, like,
So no, I probably was. I probably was young, but I was old enough that I was playing outside with friends, and I remember we played a lot in the woods. This is, back home in Appalachia, Lure area, but I remember my mom coming out and being like,
Which came out with black gloves and a knife.
I remember it
I've
was
been watching this OJ trial.
She just caught like a piece of it, and there was something about him being on the run.
Yeah.
And she made us come inside because there was like something going on that somebody's on the run.
Oh yeah, that was the
And I remember going in
No.
like scared or whatever, and like,
That's like in
probably
California.
because in that same day we found like a random knife in the woods, like stuck in a tree or something, and that was also weird.
OJ flew to Appalachia.
Right, like,
Drop that knife off.
but it was like we found that, and then she came out and was like, somebody's on the loose and they killed somebody, and we're like, so it probably was when I was really young.
Weirdly similar story. My first job ever was being a lumberjack at a state park. I don't have another way to describe it besides that. Like we did trail maintenance, and there was a tornado, so we spent the whole summer cutting down,
Okay.
cutting up
Sounds
trees
like a
and moving
lumberjack.
them. Yeah, so like that's the best way. I was part of the YCC, the Youth Conservation Corps or whatever, but it's my first job. And during this time, there is a serial killer on the loose.
Wow.
And he is on the run from police, and he comes through the park. So they had us all go hide inside. I'm like 16.
Well, at least he was really there.
And they were like, yeah, he was really there. He really
was
went through
across
the
the
park.
country.
It was like me and the office ladies, because I was the only girl that worked at that job the whole summer. And they were like, everybody needs to come in and like go out of sight somewhere and lock the doors. And
Yeah.
so that's what we did. But yeah, they chased him through the state park, but he killed like, I don't remember. It was like somewhere between 5 and 8 people or something.
Was it the
They
guy
caught him.
that was going to state, like he lived in a state park for a little bit
don't
and
know.
murdered people? Okay.
Maybe.
I watched something about
It
that
wasn't
recently.
that state park, at least.
Okay.
It wasn't the one he was murdering people in, as far as I know.
Okay. Well, he did travel and murdered
He was coming
some-
from like Cherokee County or something, and he came through.
Could be that. Could be him.
I
I
have to
forget his
look it up.
name. Cool.
Yeah,
Anyway.
sorry. Similar story, except
that was a
ours was
tangent.
like he was there.
Yeah. What a tangent we go on sometimes.
A tangent.
Well, I guess that kind of brings us to the end of this episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we did learn a little bit more about why we are real opposites or how we are.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I think it definitely movies on two very different ends of a spectrum
Yeah.
of movies.
Could not get farther apart.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I didn't absolutely hate Mulholland Drive. I would never watch it again. Like I said, I like this story, and you didn't absolutely despise 17 again, but you'd never watch it again. So
Not unless you pay me.
no, it's not like a movie I can't live without and would pay somebody to watch. Maybe Crossroads, but just saying.
No.
All right. Next time.
Oh, so yeah, next time we're gonna have a special guest, Todd, our director, back on.
He was with us for the
Troll 2 epic
yes
episode.
That great episode.
And he's gonna pick. Todd loves video games and just pop culture.
Yeah.
So he's picked The Wizard.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The Fred Savage Super Mario 3 Nintendo feature-length commercial, which is what it is, which I haven't seen for a very long time, and Aaron's never seen.
Yeah, I've never seen it, and I watched the trailer, and I'm kind of excited to see it.
It's very
80s.
It's very of its time.
Yeah.
And it is just a trailer for Super Mario 3.
I can't wait.
The Power Glove was the coolest thing when I was a kid. And then we're going to watch King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters.
Which is another one I'm super excited to watch.
It's a documentary about a Donkey Kong competition. Which every time I tell someone there's this great documentary about a Donkey Kong competition, they're like, it sounds like they just get like dumbfounded. They're like, what?
Yeah.
That sounds like the stupidest thing ever.
Well, I think it's also because it's coming from you.
Well, yeah. And then they watch it and they're like, that was the best.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. It's such a great documentary. Everyone I've told about it has had that exact same reaction. I can't wait. And then they watch it.
I can't wait. But you have to, so picture just like someone like me and you're recommending movies and you have me watch Mulholland Drive, but then you're like, and then you're going to watch a documentary about a Donkey Kong competition.
Yeah.
Like, I can see where they're a little confused.
Yeah. Well, I mean, life's very colorful. You got to embrace
true.
all the different colors and varieties.
Yeah, even 17 again.
Nah.
But I think it will be a fun episode. We had fun last time Todd was with us, and I am excited about both movies. So that's a plus.
Yeah, that'll be.
So I think we'll have fun.
Yeah.
So that is next time.
Yep.
But until then, I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh,
and this has been The Real Opposites.